If you won't add a drop of sewage to your drinking water, do not add a coin of stolen money to your main money. You're welcome to another episode. Before we continue from where we left, I've found some documents concerning my work at Amity Lab. In fact, we had changed it. It was no more Amity. It was the chemical shop that was Amity. When we came, the owner of the proprietor, who is Mr. Frimpong Darling's father, said we should change it to Ascetic Medical Lab. And that was it. I also mentioned somewhere that I had to interview the ladies with 3 other people, Frimpong himself, and then Mr. Atobra, the gentleman who he asked to interview me, who was at Bomso Clinic, and then my friend, Mr. Paul Bania. And here you can see this. It appeared that 12 ladies came for the interview. And this is the paper, a score mark of Mr. Atobra. I don't know if you can see the name. And the patients are labeled up to 12. This is a score mark of Paul Barnier, my friend. I don't know where the name is. Yes, the name is here. And this is my own score mark, Sule. So you can see that we did everything properly as it should be done, without any bias, without any favor. And Amity, he was not good. He was just from 4D, but he doesn't know much. So he didn't have any score mark. He was just there as an observer. And I even have their acceptance letter when we wrote to them. I will show you it very fast. Just to prove, not to oppose them, but just to prove something. What is this? Yes. This is what? Application for appointment. Application for appointment. Very fast one. Then, this was working timetable for them, reporting times for them at work. I did. And it came to a time they didn't care. They were now the owner of the lab when Frimpong started sleeping with them. So I did everything as much as possible to the best I could do. And this man came and leveled all of them. Pardon me to use the word level. I sympathize with the girls. I don't intend to, harm them or so. But like I said, it's always difficult to hide things that are documented. Now let's go to our main story. Anytime I find the paper, I get proof. I get a proof of using one sheet instead of 13 that jewelry gave me. I will show you it as well. Pardon me. So where we paused was Joe Larry would not give any bribe because Sule is up. No, let me start from, and would not give him any bribe for anything. This is where we pause. Now let's continue. Dr. John Bafo Obin Aji, he was the medical superintendent in charge at West Hospital at the time that I was employed. So Dr. John Bafo Obin Aji died on Sunday, December 6th, 2009, while I was on leave. Discipline and order broke down in the West Hospital after that. Yes, discipline and order broke down when he left. He was very strict. He didn't take nonsense. And I remember I went sometime complaining about how my staff were behaving. And he told me, give them queries. Anyone who misbehaves, give him a query or a query, as some people may say. I didn't know how to do that. And so I started doing that. But then they now came out to say that every small thing query, every small thing, we were stubborn. So when we died, discipline broke down. In short, discipline and order broke down in the West Hospital after that. Uh, the news, the news, the new doctor who took over was not as experienced as the late doctor who actually had started the hospital. Yes, he opened the hospital. Mm. Uh, who had started the hospital. I made so many complaints. I made so many complaints to the incoming administrator, Alice Simpe. It was a woman. After some time, apparently seeing me as a bore, told me, put it into writing. Yes, put it into writing. Well, I did, and following is the letter. And following is the letter. I took the copy of the regional medical officer to the directorate on May 3rd, 2011, and also asked for my promotion. For my promotion letter as well. Yes, I also asked for my promotion letter as well at 2011. But let me add that it appeared I never had any promotion. Since then, people were getting theirs. Even to sign to appraise me was a problem. Finally, I got the promotion without the money. So it was no promotion. I went out without it. We shall come to that, God willing. Letter as well. I was I was instead given a different letter by the Human Resource Office, Mr. Asumeni, requesting the West Hospital to release me for further posting. Or is it positioning? Okay, let's take it as posting now. For further posting, full stop. Ironically, it was dated April 29, 2011. So you see, I went to the directorate, the officer of the directorate on May 3rd. Yeah. That's okay. Okay, let me read what I wrote. Ironically, it was dated April 29, 2011. He, however, couldn't give me compensation. However, couldn't give me comprehensive answer as to whether or not I was promoted. Finally saying he had he had to check my interview results. Remember, I said initially they refused to appraise me. So I think this year I, I managed to be appraised and to be interviewed. Mm, People came from Accra to do that. Don't refuse to appraise me. In an answer to a question on phone, Mr. Danois had told me he had his promotion letter April 15th, 2011. Yes, we did it together. Mm. I.e., precisely 2 weeks before Mr. Asumani gave gave me gave me his letter. I don't know what his here is, whether my promotion letter or something. I think it's my promotion letter. Let's go, we'll see what it means. Gave me his letter, maybe my letter of promotion, maybe. He told me verbally I was to be sent to Solar Health Center. Yes. He told me verbally that I was to be sent to Solar Health Center. Why me, out of the corrupt ones in the lab about who I had made so many complaints? Yes. So I was rather complaining about them, and then I was to be sent out. Joe Larry. So many complaints. According to him, if I made complaints and nothing happened, then that was it. He's also frustrated. He can't do anything. He's a newly, he had come there just only newly. He had come there newly and he had nothing to do. Whatever Larry said was what he was going to follow. So you see, according to him, if I made complaints and nothing happened, then that was it. He was a gentleman anyway. I don't have anything to do with him. He was a gentleman, he spoke gentle, everything. But like I said, he had nothing to do. Joe Larry was the one manipulating them. They attended same meetings. They are the same level. He was the regional director, regional laboratory technologist. Mhm. He attended meetings with them and could say anything to disfavor me. He said I was being sent to Solar because what was happening in the lab was a leadership crisis, and therefore I, being the junior, had to be transferred. Had to be transferred. Okay, maybe junior to Don Kwesi. But that was not. But that was not it. But that was not it. It was clearly corruption, stroke theft, crisis instead. So it was not leadership crisis, but corruption stroke theft crisis. Yes. That was when I went to Accra and showed my third letter of indiscipline together with Asumani's release letter to the Director General, one attached to the other. He sent me back to the regional directorate in Tamale for action to be taken. Meanwhile, the Tamale West Hospital had accordingly given me the letter of release on May 9th, following the rape west of Asmani. I don't know. I can't read this well. Following the request, sorry. It was the release on May 9th, following the request of Asmani. This letter was dated February, May, was dated Friday, May 6th. This letter was dated Friday, May 6th. I'm sorry. On Tuesday, May 17th, Mr. Asumani finally gave me a formal letter requesting me to go to Sola. On Wednesday, May 18th, I joined the afternoon metro bus to Sola, getting there in the night at about 8 p.m. I was housed, or rather roomed, by Uthman, a worker at the center who I met in the same bus. So it happened that we were traveling together. I didn't know. It happened that where I was going to, he was working there. So I said, okay, fine, maybe I should sleep with him. Mhm. In the same bus. The following Thursday, May 19th, I reported to the director, to the director, Sino, the director, Thomas Sino. He's called Thomas Sino. You will know him. He's on Facebook, or at least you can get their names in the internet, these people. Thomas Sino. I reported to the director, Thomas Sino. He appeared so happy about my coming, yes, and therefore received me well. Mm. He hadn't gotten news from Jewelry yet, because Jewelry hadn't yet known whether I had gone or not. So, and I sympathize with people. You see that they are nice, but they get spoiled by somebody who is spoiled and determined to contaminate everybody they can. Mm. So, so happy about my coming because I had no technician and therefore received me well. However, there was no accommodation for me because the nurse who was transferred to Bimbila hadn't left yet, in spite of an earlier letter to her. So I don't know whether Tomasino was pretending or he knew what he was doing. I believe he was informed beforehand that a stubborn man is coming. Mm. So, letter, let me see, an earlier letter to her to leave, an earlier letter to her to leave. So he had given the nurse a letter to leave before I even went there. The district director then wrote another letter that day, giving her up till June ending, to leave so that I will occupy her accommodation. He made me sign a pre- he made me sign a prepaid book, a report book. He made me sign a report book and asked me to come back to Tamale after taking my phone number. Yes, another round of tossing, tossing about. And after taking my phone number, he gave me transport money of 30 Ghana cedis. I made a rough journey back to Tamale, paying twice to two open vehicles due to the fact that the first had deflated tires deep in the bush. Oh, we suffered with insects biting here and there. Oh my God. And my briefcase got spoiled. Tires deep in the bush. And they were removed and taken back to Sola for repair. It will interest you to know that the Metro bus doesn't ply the road every day. Maybe once in 3 days or something like that. If it's even every day, once it passes, that's all. Once you miss it, that's all. So it was going there periodically. Like I said, maybe once, maybe 3 times a week or so, if I'm not mistaken. And they were removed and taken back to Sola for repairs. You can imagine we had to stay in the bush there with insects biting, very painful bites, biting me very painfully. Eh? While in the bush, the second truck came and I paid and joined it with others. That's with other passengers whom I didn't know. Back in Tamale, I reported to Mr. Asumani after handing a letter from Sogla with which I was messaged. Yes, they messaged me with a letter to come and give to either Asumani or somebody in the West Hospital. That was Thomas. He gave me a letter to go and give it to the administration. So I went to Mr. Asumani and handed it. He was still adamant about giving me my promotion letter. He had told me when I got to Sola, he would phone me. What is the sense? Like I say, I don't blame him. Julia has spoiled me to him. He spoiled me to everybody. Hmm? Adamant about giving me my promotion letter. If the thing is there, why do you not give it to me? Why do I have to go? Then you phone me to tell me something about it, or was it that it was not there at all? I don't know. When people got theirs 2 weeks earlier, he had told me when I got to Sola, he would phone me. Lest I forget, back in Accra, I was redirected back to Tamale because all the letters had been sent there. I was told all the letters had been sent there, I was told. After that, I told Mr. Asumani I had accommodation problem in Tamale too, so I was going to Konongo to stay, yes. Because yes, he sent me back. West Hospital was not taking me, and he also was not taking me because there was no accommodation. So I told him, no, then I'm going back to Konongo where my tiny place is, my tiny home is, or where my tiny home was. On Friday, May 20th, I left, full stop. However, I was recalled from Konongo by phone by Joe Larry the following Monday. The following Monday, 23rd. The following Monday, 23rd. He said the regional medical director had set up a committee to look into my third letter, which had been returned by the Director General. I took off that day, and on Tuesday, May 24th, I was at the directorate. You can imagine how these people are tossing me up and down. When I told Asuna I was coming to Konakemi, they told me to come back. May 24th, I took off that day, and on Tuesday, May 24th, I was at the directorate. The committee, three, the committee included Joe Larry, I suppose. Yes, included Joe. The other, Mr. Gunkuni, i.e., the head of nurses, and Mr. Abubakar, I believe, was in charge of tuberculosis. No, Mr. Abunet Abubakar. He was in charge of tuberculosis. Unfortunately, almost all the questions were biased against me. They were rather sympathetic to the people I had complained about. Yes, wherever Joe Larry is involved, I have no case. I'm wrong. To the people I had complained about. On Thursday, June 2nd, I returned to Konongo. I was recalled on Monday, June 6th, after the committee had met Mr. Kane. On Thursday, June 7th, I met Kane with the committee on the following day, 8th June. With the committee. On Wednesday, the following day, 8th June, I met Alice Sinkpe, that's the new administrator. I don't know whether he came with, I think he came after Asumana, yes. On Wednesday, the following day, 8th June, 8-6, I wrote 8/6. I met Alice Sinkpe, the administrator, Brahma, the accountant, another chopper man, the accountant, and Don, the lab, the lab in charge. That's in charge of the lab. I mentioned it before. That was after meeting Fela, the former female ward in charge, and Mariama, the orderly, at the West Hospital, at the West Hospital with MG and J. Com. I can't remember this well. It then dawned on me that these two people had been contacted by the committee in advance and told what to say should I meet them. There was clear circumstantial evidence to that. As I read, this is my fourth month of being at home in Konongo while taking my salary back in Tamale. Fortunately, they couldn't stop my salary. I was very lucky because they knew it was not my making. I reported, all right, he said I should go home, no accommodation. I came back, I told Mr. Somane, he said, go. I had to come to Konongo because there's nowhere to stay. Mm. On Tuesday, June 21st, whilst traveling to Tamale from Konongo, Uthman, back in Sola, phoned me. Yes. He also asked, he also answered my question as to whether the nurse had left for Bimbila. Uthman liked me. You remember he housed me or he roomed me and he wanted to be in the lab with me. So he phoned me and I asked him, had the nurse left? As to why the director didn't, he said, for Bimbla, as to why the director didn't, yes, he said, so didn't inform me. So, in other words, the nurse had left and the director didn't phone to tell me anything that she had left. And so I asked Osman, has she left? Osman said, yes. He said, yes. Uh, well, the director didn't call me, yes. And why didn't the director call me? He didn't know. As to why the director didn't call me, Uthman didn't know. He said there was no accommodation. The lady left. Okay, Usman called me to tell me he has left. Then why didn't the director phone me? Usman says he doesn't know. I can't tell. Maybe he was getting one or two things in place. He said. So Usman suggested that the district director, Mr. Sino, Thomas Sino, was maybe getting one or two things in place. On Monday, July 18th, I called the director on phone. He said the nurse still had some of her things left in the house. And that's why he didn't call me. It's a lie. It's a lie. We'll come to it. So he kept. So I now had to be asking him up and down because I know what they can do. When he went, he didn't even ask. He was just enjoying staying there and taking salary. That's what they would say. So I had to be pressurizing them or pressurizing Thomas, in the house, and that's why he didn't. He said the nurse still had some of her things left in the house, and that's why he didn't call me. Remember, this was somebody so eager to have me. Yes, either he was eager to have me or was pretending to be eager to have me because there was no lab there at all. And nobody liked it. Like we said, the route was bad. It wasn't tarred. mm, and it was not more trouble. And it's a far distance from town, and people don't like such places. Mm. Uh, Eager to have me. Let me repeat that. Remember, this was somebody so eager to have me. He, however, told me he would be coming to Tamale on the 26th and that he would see me when he comes. After telling him I was in Konongo, I was advised to go and meet him. So you see how they were worrying me from Konongo to Tamale. And when you go, nothing happens. To meet him. On Tuesday, 19th, I called. He did not answer. The following day, 20th, I sent him a text message telling him I would be in Tamale on the 26th. He answered with the text, received. Yes, and received. That I will come on the 26th. On Thursday, 26th, I was in Tamale. I called. He was on the way coming from Sola. He would call me. He would call me. He didn't. He would call me. He didn't. To the following day, Wednesday, 27th. He didn't call. On Thursday, 28th, yes, on Thursday, 28th July, I journeyed back to Konongo. So you see how these people are just wasting my time, playing with my intelligence, playing with my body. July 3rd, I journeyed back to Konongo. Then I paused there and continued on Thursday and continued the writing on Thursday, 4th August. Coming back to the committee, right from the word go, it appeared not to it appeared not to challenge the veracity of my letters, but rather to find out why to find out my infallibility. If my opponents made my accusations against if my opponents made any accusations against me, they were taken as authentic until I proved beyond all reasonable doubt the contrary. On the other hand, if they denied anything that I said about them, they were still right. Yes. And we are blaming the white man, the colonialists, for maltreating Africans. This is Africans against Africans. When they were here with us, there was discipline, there was order. Mm? Everything was done right. That's why when they left, people like my father and his friends were not happy. And many people, even here down in the south here, where cocoa is being dealt with, were not happy. Because when he left, the blacks who were measuring, weighing the cocoa would underestimate and weigh and then take some of the money. Eh? And when they left also, the wrong was given right and the right was given wrong. Was it the colonialists who, is it the colonial masters who taught us these things? These are blacks dealing with blacks, maltreating blacks. I've always said it, when people misbehave, it's not because of their color, it's because of their character. So you can imagine, do you think that if the white man if the white people were there managing us, they could have behaved this way to me? Okay. So when it comes to praise, we praise. We praise the white man when it comes to praising them. Mm. On the other hand, they denied anything that I said about them. They were still right. If they okay, let me say it again. On the other hand, on the other hand, if they denied anything that I said about them, they were still right. This was not surprising to me because Joe Larry damaged me in advance wherever I was. Before I get to a station, oh, it's a very dangerous person. because Joe Larry damaged me in advance wherever I was to be sent. He did it in Sabzugo with Mr. Mawe, the district director. After doing it at the regional directorate and the public health laboratory and also the teaching hospital, 4 places, then he did it at Bishogu 5, where he replaced me, saying I wouldn't return to Ghana should I be sent to Europe. He did it at the West Hospital and now at Sola, causing mess. But God gave me the heart to bear these things because I needed a job. If you were to know that one day I would read this out to the public, to the internet, he probably wouldn't have done that. So let's stop here. Maybe from next time, well, it will be verbal. I think this is where I stopped. Except to find one or two things that I mentioned in my previous videos that I couldn't find. If I find them, I'll show them. But maybe from the rest of the from here now, it will be verbal or producing letters that I had written, complaints and whatnot. Okay, we stop here. Thank you very much. Illa lekai. Bye bye. And may God bless you all.